we go. That's the start. I'm sharing the screen. Hopefully everybody can see it, because if you can't, I don't know what to tell you. So I first off wanted to talk a little bit about the Amazon book launch yesterday. If you ordered, thank you very much. I see some names that I think ordered the book, and thanks. If you didn't, then we've had a little bit of a reprieve for you, just because you may not have seen that in your inbox. So I wanted to show you the site here and let you know that you can still, if you want and so choose, you can still order the book. It has a 0 countdown here, but I've asked Stanley to set it up so that you can still get the bonuses here. So please do, and so just ignore this January 31st and just go ahead. You will be able to access the bonuses, all of the bonuses, and there are plenty of them. So please do that. Okay, and Avish, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Good. Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about what happened yesterday. Again, I really don't think, I ended up, my final ranking for everybody who's interested, and again, I would love to lie about this, but it's not in my nature. I got up to number 3 for entrepreneurial books or something like that, so I did pretty well within a category, and I think if I had or allowed myself another 30 days to do this, I probably could have got it up to number 1, I think. Right now, there are a total of, and if we want to, we could actually check, but I think I've got something like a total of, oh gosh, what's the number? I'm just going to turn this thing off, by the way, here. Hold on a second here. I'm just going to turn this off and close that down here, so I'll sign out. Okay. Okay, so I think that the total, again, the total is something like 189 at the moment, total books purchased. So if you bought one, again, thank you very much. Avish, why don't you ask me some questions on this and I can give you some answers, because I know you're going to be doing yours shortly, right?
Yeah, in a month, mine's going, so.
So yours is February the 28th, correct?
Yep, I said the 28th is my release date.
And do we have a website yet for that? Is it up?
Yeah, sayyesand.com.
Okay, and so we might as well take a look at that. Let's put it as... Okay, so this is what Avish is going to look like. He's, created a similar looking kind of site, not nearly as good as mine, unfortunately, but it's decent.
Yeah, fair enough.
But no, you know what? One of the things I think works well, especially since you're in this business, is I would put a video in here too. I would put it somewhere.
Yeah, that's on my list of items to get on there.
Yeah, I would put it in between. I'd move the book a tad over to the left here, and I'd move this copy a tad over to the right and put the video right in here.
That's not a bad idea.
That's what I would do myself. So, again, ask me any questions you want about how things went. Let's go through it a little bit, and then maybe, hopefully, that'll help for yours as well.
Yeah, well, I was wondering how much, well, I mean, just overall, how much promotion did you do for your book? Was it just, did you do a lot of pre-emailing? How many partners did you have sending stuff out, things like that, just to know the scope of your marketing campaign?
Yeah, I did virtually none, to be honest. I didn't do nearly as much work as I should have, so I'm really, I guess, lucky to have gotten as high up as I did. So I did, I just contacted a few of the JV partners. I asked people, well, here's what I did. So I contacted, if I can spell it, selected people who I thought could help. And, those were, some heavy hitters, et cetera. Not too many, though. I only contacted about 2 or 3 people who had super big lists. So, and then I, Facebook and Twitter, did that to get the thing going. And then I just, I just hoped for the best. I reminded people subtly once or twice, but I didn't do a whole lot, to be honest. So I think that it's a combination of the JV partners that I got to, along with the fact that my own list is fairly decent size. So I think that was able to get me up to where I was.
Got it. And do you know how many you, do you know, I don't know how closely you were watching your sales as to whether your, what was it, like 190 or whatever, if that was spread out over the course of the day, or did they kind of a lot of them hit all at once?
No, they tended to be spread out throughout the day. And when I first looked, I thought to myself, oh man, this isn't working too well. I think 7 in the morning Pacific time, I checked, and there were like 38 orders. At this point, there are 189. Let's, you know what, just so people know that I'm not making this stuff up, let's actually check in on my Amazon account here. Because again, everything here is transparent, no smoke and mirrors. Let's see if this is the correct login code. I don't know. Hopefully it is. It is. Good. We'll look at Sell Your Brain Power. And it'll only show the sales from after the first, from after midnight. So I'm going to have to correct this. It says 43, but if I expand and run the report and extend it to back to the 30th, just because I want to make sure I have everything there. Total number is 192 at this point.
Okay.
So 192 orders, and that meant that X number of them fell within the 24-hour period. That's a total royalty of $1,148. Not bad for one day. You know, I wish I could keep cranking that every day. The nice thing is this. If you look at Amazon, and by the way, this doesn't mean, folks, that you shouldn't stop telling everyone you know about the book. Please continue to do that. I was just trying to get it way up there. So again, thanks on that. So here, under books, if you put in Sell Your Brain Power, and let's see here. What was I going to show here? I forget. Oh, wait. Let me go to bestsellers. Bestsellers. Let me go to business and investing. And under business investing, small business and entrepreneurship. Let's see. I was still falling. I still had a pretty good ranking. Yeah, I'm still number 6 right now.
Oh, nice.
But above Think and Grow Rich. So, you know, just to let people know that my book is better than Think and Grow Rich. Ha!
Oh, well, that's the key.
Napoleon who?
Yeah, Napoleon who? Yeah. Dave, thanks for being here. So I'm going through with Avish, and Avish is asking me some questions on what happened. And again, thanks for all your efforts, your dad's effort. And like I said, we're still up at number 6. And there's some pretty big players here that are in the top. You know, this Jim Collins book, Good to Great. Again, that's a very corporate book. This I haven't. This just jumped into this spot in the recent past. I didn't see it last time. This has been here for a while, and these two, interesting to see that the physical version and the Kindle version of this book are both in pretty good positions. Eric Rees, I think it's the same guy that's Trouton Rees, I think, but I'm not sure. Avish, keep asking me any questions you have.
I don't really know. I mean, it's all pretty straightforward. I guess just kind of a general question is anything, if you had to do it again, knowing now kind of what you went through this time, what would you do differently?
That's a good question. And what I would do is I would add another 30 days to my schedule to try and promote it. And I think I could have gotten it to a number 1. So I think that the key here to understand then, if you're doing some kind of an Amazon book launch, is to give yourself, you know, at least 60 to 90 days. And I tried to do it in under 30 days. So I'm not making excuses, but I am saying that I think that, because frankly, and this is the big point here, and I want everybody to listen to this because it really is key. I really don't know if there are any other benefits to being an Amazon number 1 bestseller for one day, other than just the bragging rights and being able to put it on your, you know, whatever. That stuff is unimportant to me. As I told Avish, I think yesterday, when I go to the bank, I tried this morning to deposit the fact that I was a number 3 best-selling author on Amazon. Apparently, all they take is money at the bank. So again, if this is just a prestige thing, you guys who know me know that I could give a rat's behind about prestige. You know, that's really not the measuring stick as far as I'm concerned. So to me, it's, you know, who cares about that? If I could sell 1,000 of these books every month, I'd be excited. You know, because 1,000 books at you know, my commission, by the way, and everybody should know this, for a 1995 book, and let me just give you these numbers. So this book is selling for $19.95, and if you did your math when you saw the statistics come up, I'm getting, I think it's $5.598 per book per sale. So that's what I'm getting from Amazon as their compensation to me. So now the question is, and this is where it gets a little hairy, and frankly, Dave and Avish, I'd like your feedback on this because it's important. So my question is this. Having become convinced over the last number of months of how important Kindle and everything digital is in the world, my question then becomes, how quickly do you guys think I should launch now I have my own ideas on this, but I want to hear from you guys. I'm not going to color it by giving you what I think the answer is myself. So how soon, number one, would you put the book up in digital form? Part A. So, how soon to launch the digital version of the book? That's question one. And question two is, at what price point and why? So I want each of you guys to write something down so you don't change your answer because you hear what the other person says. So Dave, let's start with you. How soon would you launch the digital version and why?
Well, to be honest, I'd start with a question, and it reminds me of when a book goes from hardback only to paperback, and it seems like they squeeze as much of the hype and popularity of, when a new Harry Potter book comes out, when it would come out or whatever. It's only hardback, and people go scoop them up at a premium price. And then at some point, they release the paperback, and it kind of picks up again. And without knowing the data, I mean, my gut is 60 to 90 days of getting the popularity out of it before you jump over. But that's my guess.
Avish, what's your guess? What do you think would be good, Avish?
Yeah, I mean, so as to not change my answer, I was going to say give it a week, but I think Dave's right. I would make it maybe like 2 weeks, just so because it'll give you another chance to promote, and you don't want to promote right on the heels of promoting this. So give people a couple of weeks to kind of breathe, and then hit them say, "Oh, now it's available on Kindle." I agree that right. I don't know how much farther this popularity is going to go from this one little mini launch. So, and I think your biggest advantage is more, the bounce backs and getting the content in people's hands. So I'd say sooner as opposed to later.
Yeah, and I've got some people here who are commenting and actually on other matters. So now I'm going to ask the audience a question also. Well, first off, let's finish this as far as price point, and then I'll give you what I think the answers are. So, or what my answers might be. So, Dave, give us an answer on price.
$7.95.
Okay, $7.95. Avish, what's yours?
$4.99.
Okay.
The price is right.
Yeah.
The actual retail price.
501. Yes, come on down. So now we've got Jim Reeser, I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. I think it is Jim. Go for it now. Not everyone got in early, but are now still interested, Jim says. That's in terms of timing. Early adopters got it yesterday. Jim's point is, that you might as well get it. I don't know if anybody else has any other comments. Here's my thought. My thought is that I do it, sooner rather than later. So Avish, I'm tending to go more towards the 1 to 2 weeks. Hold on, I got other people commenting here. A month, Catherine saying. So, I mean, different people, different ideas about this. My thing is, I was thinking of doing it almost, the only reason why I'm not doing it today or tomorrow is because I don't want to piss people off who bought the physical version, to be honest. That's my only reason for not doing it right away. Because, and also on price point, I think Avish is sort of, we colluded without knowing it because I had a talk with him a couple days ago. I would agree with Avish at $4.99 is the price point. That seems to be the sweet spot for digital because, again, with digital, here's the thing. At $4.99 or at any price point above $2.99, you're getting 70% from Amazon, at least in the Kindle store. And so apparently it seems as if that's the sweet spot that everybody's talking about. Now, does anybody know the answer to this? Might I have been better off if I went with Dave's price of $7.95? The other thing is I'm tempted to put it at a weird number. Something like maybe if I started it at $7.77, for example, I could always change it later to $4.99 or $4.97 or whatever I wanted to. But that's my thinking. Now, do you guys have any feedback on that as to whether or not what my reasoning makes sense? Here's Jim's comment. First, Jim says most of us bought it early. We did so to help you hit number one, which is through a lower price now isn't going to sting the rest of us. Plus, for many of us, you gave us valuable bonuses. So I think that Jim has a good point. What do you guys think?
Well, okay,
Go ahead.
good.
Well, I was going to say, I think if you change the bonuses, maybe just take a couple away, so you're giving less bonus value. That's always kind of your justification. The other thing is that there's a difference between, I think, getting it up in Kindle format and announcing you have it up in Kindle format. Okay. So I think you can put it up in Kindle format soon, and people may stumble across it like they've stumbled across a bunch of other books, and then do the big announcement in a couple weeks. Any
more thoughts, Dave?
Well, I agree with Jim. I think probably a lot of the people that bought it, not that it's not going to be great content, but we were on your side trying to have a one-day launch.
Yeah, you guys were trying to help me. Basically, you were giving. It's almost like when you go buy a musician, you were putting $20 in the tip box. You enjoyed the music, but it was mainly to help the musician.
Yeah, and it's going to be value, but that's right. So if you put it on Kindle tomorrow, that doesn't affect us at all. Let me ask one question, Fred.
Uh-huh.
And this is based on your research, why is it there going to be a point where doing a physical book isn't even worth it? Like just go right to Kindle.
Yeah, well, if you guys and anybody else wants to take a look at this, I think both Avish and I have read this. But there's a book out there that I will promote, Be the Monkey, and I would encourage all of you. It's now at zero price. Interesting what they're doing, huh? For Prime members. Be the Monkey is a really, really good book that explains a lot of what we're talking about here. And I would encourage anybody who wants to learn more about this topic to get this book, Be the Monkey. It's in the Kindle store, and apparently it's at $0 for those of us who are Amazon Prime customers. I have no idea if you're not an Amazon Prime. Maybe it's still. You guys pull it up on your screen. Tell me what is Be the Monkey coming to there?
Well, look below it. It says you saved 99 cents. So maybe that's the retail price.
Yeah, but I mean, did you guys, when you pull it up, does it come out to 99 cents or what is it for you, Avish?
Yeah.
Actually, mine's looking like zero as well. Hold on a second.
Are you an Amazon Prime customer? I'm sure you are.
I'm actually not, and my Kindle price is $0 as well.
Okay,
yeah, so mine is too, Fred. I'm going to try to buy it.
So everybody should go get this book, and it really is a really. I paid for it, by the way. I forget what it was. So I
paid 99 cents for this. I want my money back.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, we overpaid. And so, but here's the point: these guys in this book, they're fiction authors, and they have a lot to say about how to do things in terms of digital versus physical. I'm telling you, these people are really right on the money as far as what's going to happen in the industry, and I would highly recommend that anyone listening to this particular webinar get the book, especially at a $0 price. And I'm telling you, it's going to be really, really helpful to you. Jeffrey Greco makes a comment. I think you should at least wait 2 days because people who bought the ebook would get faster than those who ordered the physical version. I think Jeffrey has a good point. So in other words, I may give it a while to let people get it in their hands. Any thoughts on that, anyone?
Yeah, I do think that's, it would be weird if I haven't even got my order yet and it's already, you're slashing prices and offer different formats.
And by the way, Doc Miller says hardback sales, it's not a hardback, it's a paperback book. So this is not the hardback sales, it's not a hardback sale, it's dipping. It would be the paperback sale because it's only available in paper or in digital form in the very near future. So that's it's free for those of us not in the club. Yeah.
Hey,
now,
by the way,
yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry.
Shoot,
Fred. I just bought the Be the Monkey. They didn't even send me through a checkout. They said, okay, thanks. It's in your library. I'm reading it now. I don't even have a Kindle, and it's available.
Nice. Yeah, and so Jim says he just got Be the Monkey on the Kindle as well. Yeah, it's too easy. It is. And Jim, here's one of the points that's important to make here is, frankly, most of my materials, if I thought that more people, and this is a really interesting point also, and Avish and I had this conversation yesterday, if I thought that a lot more people would order my materials, if I gave them away, I would make everything free. However, research is showing that there are price points. For example, when I put an article up at 99 cents and then I get some reviews and I change the price to $2.99, I actually get more orders at $2.99 than I did at 99 cents. My thinking is that most people, when they see a price point of 99 cents, say, this must be crap.
Yeah.
And so it's really interesting with pricing, how this works, because for the most part, especially even if I'm talking about it here and I say, yo, buy this book, Be the Monkey, it's free. People are going to go, how good can it be? Trust me, this book, everyone should get the book who hears my voice saying this, because it's absolutely very, very important material for anyone who publishes anything. Avish, would you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm a very regular reader of one of the author's blogs as well, which is very much about self-publishing and the advantages of self-publishing and Kindle publishing over anything else. So,
and
I definitely think it's worth a read.
That's Conrath's stuff, right?
Yeah, if you look up J.A. Conrath blog, it's like a Blogspot blog, so I don't know the exact URL, but...
Yeah, so J.A. Conrath, this guy's, so it's J.A. Conrath's blog. He should be paying me for this, that son of a gun.
Yeah.
Okay, so his blog. So go check that out. But again, I completely agree with his premises, and I think that the arrogant, what he calls legacy publishing companies, which is the big New York publishing houses, are going to kill themselves slowly by their behavior. And it's interesting to read how that's going to happen. Anyway, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do yet. I think I will take everyone's advice, since we did some crowdsourcing here, and at least wait a few more days to get it up. What I might do, and I think that Stanley's on the call, I think that I might try and have this up by sometime like next Monday. And if I do it by next Monday, that's enough time that, I can get my act together, make sure that all the promotions are good, and then start really, really sort of pumping it out there. What do you guys think?
Are you not going to push the physical, or are you going to just put all your efforts into the Kindle stuff?
You know what? For me, I actually, I am going to push the physical book, but I'll tell you what, I don't think that digital sales are going to hurt physical sales. They might hurt them a little bit, but I think that the total dollars generated, here's the question really, Dave, which is, what is my end game? My end game is to get this book in whatever form into as many hands as possible and maximize my revenue. Now, by maximizing my revenue, I say that both in terms of the revenue that comes from the book itself, which should be interesting but not major, but the major elements of the revenue streams that are going to come as a result of the promoting of this book is going to be all of the bounce backs that are in there. And by the way, Dave, you're a multiple recipient within the book of those bounce backs.
I've already gotten some calls and emails.
Have you really?
So
please tell
I have.
Please tell us about it.
Well, I've just noticed a spike yesterday in a couple things. One, I got a phone call today from a guy, because I'd list my phone number or my Google phone number, who said he found me through the book and had some questions. So he's in California. I got to call him back. The other thing is, one of my bonus products was a free product. It was a coupon code, so they actually had to buy it, but the coupon reduced it to 0, and I've had about a dozen of those. Nice. So, there's people jumping into my system via your promotion.
Well, that's great. Yeah, that's really good to hear, and I think that what I would do is I would approach some of the people like Bob Bly and other people and just say, hey, if you want to add a bonus to any of your products, here's one for you. I mean, I would do that with a lot of other people as well. I can help you get in those doors too.
I'd love that. I'd love to talk about that.
Good. So, I mean, I think that this is really, really interesting and instructive. But for me, the real end game for me is to get people to buy something and then buy something more, and then spend a lot of money, and then eventually become a JV partner. That's my goal. I mean, and also one of the things I have on my list here, which everybody should celebrate, those of you who aren't JV partners even, but Bill DeWeese just passed the profitability point, even though we had invested over $20,000. So Bill DeWeese just kicked into profitability as of the last, just yesterday. So now Bill DeWeese, lucky him, he's not on the call, so I can talk about him. He will be sending me a check every month, starting this month of February. And I'm delighted that that's the case, but I'm delighted that he is now setting himself up, because he instant messaged me earlier to say that he can't be on the call because he's got too much voiceover work. So, and believe it or not, if you do a lot of that work, it is really, really tiring. And I told Bill that my goal for him was to make it so he had to only work this year, eventually 30 hours a week, next year 20 hours a week, and make double what he's making right now. That was my goal for him. So in other words, to try and cut back his hours, but increase his income significantly through information products. And that's the goal for Bill. So he's kicked into play. Now, the thing that's fascinating here, and I don't know, I think Avish, I told you this, but Dave, I don't think you heard, that with Bill, you know, we paid Ermel a bunch of money for his services, and they have not yet kicked in. So we've gotten to profitability without having the benefit of anything other than at best a number 9 rating for one keyword term in Google.
Yeah.
And all that means is that Bill is sitting on a huge gold mine once people start coming in, because, you know, I know he's not here, but let me just tell you that his list is less than 400 people, and he has generated $20,000 about. So we're looking at $50 per person in revenue, you know, from his list. So people are always complaining about the fact that, oh, I don't have a big list, I don't have a big list. Well, he's taken a small list, and he has really, really maximized the amount of dollars he's getting per person out of his list. Those numbers are pretty amazing. So let's just say that his list goes from 400, you know, to 4,000. There's going to be, I mean, I told him that the other day, and I said, Bill, you realize that would mean 200,000 if it went from 400 to 4,000 people. Now, the law of big numbers says that that's probably not going to pan out. It's not going to be a sort of a 1-to-1 ratio. But let's just say it goes to 4,000 and it goes to 100,000. That ain't too bad either.
Yeah.
And I mean,
and honestly,
yeah.
I think if you snapped your fingers and the Google rankings clicked in, you know, I think a lot of people aren't ready for massive traffic yet. You know, if you got,
in his case, we are.
You are, yeah.
We're ready. Yeah, we're
cool.
ready. We're ready, willing, and able, because we've got all the products set up. I mean, I don't know if you've seen his site lately, but Ermel's been helping and working on it. But let me just show you, you know, what his looks like these days. Voice-over-training.org. I mean, if you look at his site now, he is fully prepared for anything to happen. And so under products, he's got a bunch of products that he's got available. Under events, you know, you can go there and see the various events that he has. Under coaching. So he's got a lot of stuff in the pipeline here. Now, if you click on this link, you go to a separate site that's selling people on the coaching. But he's got a lot of, he's ready. He's ready.
Yeah.
And
that's awesome.
Yeah, I think the one thing that I'm not real happy with, which I don't know if I guess he's reduced it a little bit, is if you look at the depth of this banner, it's kind of big to me. I think it could serve being about, you know, to cut it down to right here, if you see where my pointer is.
Yeah.
Maybe a little bit down here, because I want more of these stuff. But again, if you just come here, you're seeing what's above the fold right like that anyway. But again, that's how I have my browser set up. I just think it might be a little bit too thick.
Yeah.
Avish, any comments from you?
I don't actually had to hop off there to take a phone call, so I missed some of it. But just from what you've told me over the past few days about what's going on with Bill, I think it's great.
Yeah, I mean, and the thing about it is that, again, with his list, now the question then becomes, how was he able to do that with that list? And the way that he was able to do it with the list is, again, I think that he has some real personal, you know, contact. And what he's been doing is he's been video emailing everybody who signs up, personally saying, hey, Avish, glad to see that you signed up to receive my blah, blah, blah. So he is now, when he gets to the point where he can't do those personalized video emails anymore, I think he'll still be in a position to do something that is pretty personalized, and that certainly could help. So those are a couple things. Now, Vish, let's talk a little bit about the upcoming event, and let's talk about sort of how you're doing this. So not only you could sort of let people know what you're doing, but tell them how you're doing it to help them learn.
Sure. So we've talked about this before, but just to give the overview, we're doing the Speaking Expert teleseminar, which, since the Speaking Expert site is all about helping speakers speak better, make more money, and have more fun, we put together a 7-week teleseminar. And, historically I found that it seems like my list seems not to be the most responsive. So rather than just creating a product that no one buys, we went out and we have me and Fred and then 5 additional experts who we interview. So that picture that's up right there on the website, but those are 7 experts in order, week 1 to week 7. The key, though, is there's 2 things. One is the teleseminar series is fairly progressive, so we start with positioning, then how do you set yourself as an expert, then marketing, and so on. The second most important thing is that each of those people is an expert on their topic, but most of them have a following amongst our target market. So what I did is we put this whole page together. First I contacted them, and then I set up each of these speakers, each of these experts as an affiliate, gave them the affiliate link, gave them the emails to use, and it started this week. We started promoting, and the results have been very, very solid. They've definitely hit they've gone way beyond my baseline expectation. They've certainly hit what I was hoping for. We haven't quite hit my wildest dreams yet, but it's been pretty solid. So, and a lot of that was getting people on board. I did this in the fall for a more general topic, and my experts, while they did a great job, they didn't really do a good job of promoting. They didn't seem to get behind sending emails out. So this time I made it very clear up front, like, I'm asking you to send an email on this day and an email on this day.
Do you think did they do it?
Yeah, they all did, and that's why I've got we got tremendous spike in traffic. So this teleseminar has a paid option and a free option. If you sign up for the free, you get to listen in to the calls when they're broadcast live at 7 p.m. Tuesday nights. If you do the paid version, you can listen in, but you'll get the MP3 recording the next day, as well as transcripts when they're done, and some bonuses. So from the people sending this out, we've got almost 400 opt-ins on the free version and around close to 50 sales of the paid version.
Got it. And the paid are at 97, right?
Yeah. And at the last I checked, I think only 3 or 4 of those paid versions did not come from an affiliate. Which means that the strategy of getting buyers at interested parties using other people's lists is working. Okay,
so in other words, there's a lesson to be learned there, and so the lesson would be what?
Well, the lesson is that if you don't have a list, or if your list is not responsive, partner with people who do have responsive lists and who hit your target market, and then make it easy for them and make it beneficial to them. So we offer them a 50% commission, and I tried to have them do as little work as possible. I did the emails, I wrote the tweets for them, I signed them up as affiliates, I gave them the links.
Yeah, so you made it as easy as possible for them to do this.
Yeah, exactly.
Which, by the way, I think that what you and I should do is we should have, and let's see what the audience says here. Would all of you be interested who are listening on the webinar right now? Just put something in the question or the comment thing. Would all of you be interested in a webinar on how to do one of these kinds of events that Avish has put together here? How many people would be interested in that? Just say yes. So how many of you would be interested in learning how Avish did this with getting people to, yeah, I've got yes, 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 a lot of yeses. So thank you. So I think that it would be valuable for people to learn, and we could make a product out of that, Avish.
Okay.
So let's, this is a great example of when you do anything, sort of note your steps, take good notes on your steps, because chances are if you do it and it works, or even if it doesn't, you can make some kind of a product out of it that other people would like to know, either to do what you did or to avoid what you did.
Yeah.
Or both. I mean, because chances are there's, by the way, I I had an interview this morning for the book on Little Buddy Radio. Do you remember who that is?
Yeah,
On
I
what?
know that.
Well, let me just show you. For you guys who don't know, I spent, I think obviously Dave knows this, but let me just show you this because it's pretty funny. I love her. She's such a cool person. So Little Buddy Radio, I got to know Dreama Denver, who is Bob Denver, host of former Gilligan. You know, he was Gilligan in real life. She was married to him. And I got to know her a little bit at one of Burke's events, and we've remained friends. And she runs a radio show. And by the way, is this your work, Dave?
Yes, it is.
Nice.
Nice.
I like it much better than the previous one too. This is great with Gilligan looking over and everything. This is cool. So yeah, she was married to Bob Denver for a number of years, who was in real life, you know, who was as an actor was Gilligan, and never really got to be anything else because of that. But he captured his niche, and apparently was just a wonderful human being too. So she had me on this morning and asked me a bunch of questions about the book. Of course, given it was 9:30 on the East Coast, I had to set my alarm for 6:27, have 3 minutes to act like I was awake. But yeah, so that now, I don't really know. I told Burke, I said, you know, hey, is this really my audience for my kind of stuff? He says, oh, what the heck? You know, there's probably somebody out there who might have an interest. So I don't really know how many orders we got from doing this. But if it was Dreama, I was happy to do it because she's a good person. So. And so Dave, tell us, you did this site, and I know the last one wasn't nearly as good. So what's the site all about?
The old site was probably 20 years old and was probably really cool in the early 90s, but it was just time for something new. And the other thing is, you know how in Hollywood they've made movies out of literally every TV show. I mean, they made McHale's Navy, and that Gilligan's Island was way better than that. But anyway, they're making a movie. If you Google it and look into it, I mean, some big names. Beyonce is Ginger, and
nice.
The dude from
Really?
Scrubs, Zach Braff, I think is going to be Gilligan, although they're still figuring it out. But anyway, when traffic comes from that movie, BobDenver.com is going to be a pretty big site, so they wanted to pour some energy into it. So, and you know, like you say, Fred, Dreama is she's just so easy to like. She's awesome. So we said, all right, let's put our full energy into making this site really good. And the other thing is the Denver Foundation, their Bob and Dreama's son is autistic, and they have a big passion for helping people like that. So there's just win-win all around. So we wanted to really do a site that really did a great job for it.
Great. Well, excellent. By the way, this is a picture of Dreama and Bob here. So there they are. And she's really cool, and apparently he was super cool as well. So that's sort of nice to see. It's sort of tough to see Gilligan with like gray hair, you know.
Yeah.
It's tough to do that. Okay, so let's get back to the other stuff. So now that's great. Avish, so what we're going to try and do then is put together a little something for people using Speaking Expert Teleseminar as a template. So if everybody would just go there, and please sign up if you want, free or paid, whatever you want, but also make sure and look through the sort of how we did the site, and you'll get some benefit from that as well. Do we want to say anything else about that? Oh, and also, how we haven't yet decided on dates for the speaking school yet, have we, Avish?
No, but I think we're thinking kind of late March, which will, I think, give us the maximum exposure from the speaking teleseminar to load people into it.
Yeah, I'll see my schedule because I think the boot camp, I forget when it is, but yeah, we can do it late March. That'd be great. Now, one of the questions
Late March, early April is fine too.
Yeah.
Somewhere around there.
One of the questions from somebody that's on the webinar today was asking about my relationship with, you know, be it Avish, you know, or Dave or Bill DeWeese, and all of these folks are what I call JV partners, which is I am in some way, you know, collecting checks from each of these guys very happily, by the way, And so this is, something that this is what I do. And so when I get people to the Fred Info Bootcamp site, which is, Fred Info Bootcamp is people come and they spend a week with me. And I think we've got one spot left for the next date. But so when people do that, then what I'm trying to do is get them to go to jvwithfred.com, because they first have to attend one of these. And this is where I get people to work with me on a joint venture basis. So if you have any questions about that, what's my relationship with these people and how does it work, this is the site to look at for that. So look at jvwithfred.com. And what else? Let's see here. Dave, do you have any thoughts?
Well, I just like to say, I think it's an interesting question. If I could comment on
Sure.
on that about the relationship, and it's one of the things as I look at my business, and I've got a kind of unique niche of helping people with the technology and the websites and making all of this stuff work with their particular expertise. But more than half of my income, in some way, comes back to something you and I did. I told you just a few days ago, a guy said, "Yeah, I bought an audio a year ago from Fred Gleeck, and there was a mention of you, and so I looked you up." So it's far-reaching, the ability for you to get the word out, and people that are listening. It's been a great relationship, and once we get over putting up with you, it really worked out well.
Yeah, that's an ongoing process, I think, too.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, well, that's great. I'm glad about that. And the thing is, for me, is that working with people, as Avish, Dave, I think as well, implicitly, I really prefer, maybe because I was an only kid or whatever, I don't really like working alone. So I love having sort of, being, since I no longer can be promiscuous in other life stuff, I can be promiscuous in my business life, which is very good. So I like.
I'll have to think about that one, Fred, but that's cool. I understand.
So I like the idea of having multiple partners in business. Let's just leave it at that.
Yeah.
So this is all about doing and finding people that you get along with. In fact, I just I put a there's now a if you want to spend the big bucks, the big 99 cents. Let me just show everybody this. Then this is an example of one of the books I put up on the Kindle store. So on the Kindle store, what I did is I'm trying not to reinvent the wheel. I'm taking what so marketing to find your ideal client. And so this is it. I had a guy on Fiverr design it for me. So that's an article. This is a 2,400 word article, blah, blah, blah. And it's, this is what I did. I just took everything that I found to be true with finding people like Dave and Bill and Avish and putting it all together, and I put together an article on it. So you can sell audios. And also notice this, please. My name is Fred Gleeck. Find out more about who I am. You can also get a $397 free audio program by going here. Do I even care if people buy this? Now, here's the look inside. Watch this. On the look inside, notice again here. So, and anybody who downloads this can see this. It says, and I can't really, let me just zoom in here. File, view, zoom in, because I can't. Let me see here. Okay, so whoops, file, let me zoom in some more here. Where the view, zoom in. Okay, so if you notice here, in this, and I've zoomed it in, here's this section again. If you want to find out more information about me, go to fredgleeck.com. Also, as a bonus for buying this article, you can get, now people don't even have to have bought the article to go to Google to the go.gl/VECIB site, and then they'll get to the section. Now, let me just show you. So if I take this and put in, that's go.gl/VECIB, and again, they can see this without even having to buy the article. So now I'm going to put this in, and what it takes them to is a section on my site that has all these training videos that you can go to and get, like, all these videos here are all covered in that. All you need to do is give me your email address and you can get access to those. And so everything that I send out from Kindle is using that as a means to bounce people back to my site, to get them into my funnel, to get them to consider buying my other products and services, and that's how it works. And by the way, if you haven't been on these webinars before, all of them are, virtually all of them, just a few that I've missed, but almost all of them are right here on the site. If you click on webinars, the one from last week, I think Stanley already put it up, is here, and Dave, there's Dad's smiling face, and you can go to the web, and there's tons of them here. So look, I mean, there's a ton of webinars here for you. You know, there's all the way back to March of last year I started recording them, I think. So, you know, and again, you can go in here and click on play, and it goes to YouTube.
Let's go ahead and get,
you know, and you can find out what we did last week if you missed it. So if you missed any of the webinars and want to go back and find out more, there's plenty to be had on those as well. I think we've covered a lot of information. Dave, Avish, any final thoughts?
Yeah, I got one quick thing I'd like to share if I could, Fred.
Sure.
Like 2 nights before your book launch, I was thinking, man, I need to have some bonuses, and there was an idea that I've had for a while, and I wanted to show, this isn't to show what I could do, but more what people could do, and that is how quickly can you get a product to market. And here was my my product. It's the idea of, you know how you just walk around and you see marketing ideas that you could use on your website. It would work.
Yep.
And I'm in tune with the shopping cart side of things and the conversion, but I said, you know what? I have a list of about 12 of these things that I've seen. And for instance, well, I'll show you. But I basically thought of a domain, wrote some copy. The next day, I got my brother to meet me at lunch at a grocery store to film something. And basically, I have a membership site. I built a membership site in 24 hours, and it was one of my bonuses. And if you want to just go take a quick peek, or people can look at later, it's web marketing pro tips. And every week, I deliver a new tip that it's good stuff. It works. I know it works because it works in real life. And
so this is you at the grocery store here.
That's me at the grocery store. Now,
okay, let's
here's the tip.
How long is this?
Well, the first part is like a minute and a half.
Okay, well, let's just let's see what goes on here. Hold on.
Hi there, welcome to Web Marketing Pro Tips, where we take real-world marketing ideas and see how they can work for your online business. Now, I'm here in my local grocery store where it is a case study of cool marketing ideas. Is it any coincidence that the Special K is at my eye level, where the Fruit Loops are at the kids' eye level? That's by design, that's tested, and that's all. The whole goal is to squeeze more profitability from every single customer. Well, that's what we're going to do for you. Now, I'm here at the checkout aisle, which is what I really wanted to talk to you.
Okay, so they can get the rest of it. So tell us what you did here.
Well, the idea for this first one is when you're standing in the checkout line, they have all these little impulse items to throw in your cart. And everybody knows about these things, gum, magazines, fingernail clippers, whatever. Nobody goes to the store to buy it, but we all throw it in the cart because we're in the buying mode. The idea is, why not do that on your shopping cart? And I show them how, using web marketing magic, you can sell, you know, product A, and whenever people buy product A, you have that little thing at the bottom on the checkout page that says, customers who bought this were also interested in, and they got, you know, and it's a one-click add to cart.
Yep.
So I explain the principle, and then I show exactly step by step how to put that into effect. And it took me 4 minutes to add one of those. And think about how many customers would actually add an upsell product if it was one click away.
Yeah, it's great. And so there you have it, a good example. And so people should go to Web Marketing Pro Tips to pick that up.
Yeah, exactly.
Super, good example. Okay, so Avish, any final thoughts here?
I don't have anything to compare to Dave Hamilton in a grocery store.
So, again, folks, these are every Wednesday. Every Wednesday, spread the word, tell people about the book, come back to the webinars, go to the site and get all the free stuff as well as any of the previous webinars. And thank you all for being on here, and thank you all for helping me get my book near #1, if not at #1. So thanks everybody for being here, and we'll talk to you next time next week. Thanks, guys.
That's right.
See ya.
The organizer has ended the session, and this call will be disconnected. Goodbye.